Hello, good morning to all. So in this second lecture of this series, I am going to introduce you about the platform Google Colab. This is the platform that is provided by Google, and the reason I selected this particular platform is that since this Google Colab, it is associated with Google Drive also. So in future when you are going to develop any projects in which you need some files from your system or from the Google Drive, so that will become easy. Also the installation, when we use Python, so when we install Python software on our system, there are a lot of packages that we need to install time to time. So over here when we are using Google Colab, this installation of the packages is not required. So most of the things it becomes quite easy. Plus this Google Colab, it provides systems like GPU, TPU, which are high-end computational devices having a huge processing capacity in comparison to the CPU that we have in our laptop or desktops. So since Google provide this facility also, and that too free of cost, so this platform is quite easy and quite effective to use. So first of all, how we can open Google Colab in our system, in our Google Drive. So to use the Google Colab, first of all, you should log in with your Gmail ID, and over there just open the Google Drive. Okay, and why I am directly also, like if you search, simply if you do a Google search, and over here in the search, if you write Google Colab and enter it, the first option that will appear, it is related to welcome to Colaboratory or this Colab Google. So you can click on any of this. So if I click on this colab.google, so it is going to open this page, and over here you can click new notebook, and when I click new notebook, it is going to open the notebook on which we can start writing the Python code. So it is just loading. So this is the platform that is there provided by the Google. It is the Google Colab notebook. Now over here, it means we can come to this notebook with the help of the Google search by just searching Google Colab in the Google search, and then we can come. Another way is to open the Google Drive, and from the Google Drive, simply if we right click and go to more and Google Colaboratory, then from here also you can come to this Colaboratory. And the reason why I used to go through Google Drive is that whatever notebook, whatever course that I am going to write, that will automatically store in this particular region of the Google Drive, in this particular folder of the Google Drive. So I do not need to manage the file again. It will remain in this particular folder, right? And over here, if you right click and if you go to more, over there, if you are not able to see this Google Colaboratory, then click on this connect more apps. If you click on this connect more apps, then a window will open. And over here in the search, you can search for the Colaboratory. Okay, so Colaboratory, and this will, over there you will be able to see something like this. Over here, just click on the install button. In my case, it is already installed. So In your case, you can click over here, it will open the installation part, and you will be able to get Colab installed with your Google Drive, so that after this it will then appear in the same way as it is appearing in my Google Drive. And thereafter you can simply right click on any folder in the Google Drive and can come to the Google Colab, right? So let me close the other files. So over here, if you look at this platform, if you click on the file, you can see that it is simply like as if you are working in a MS Word. So different options are there: file, edit, view, insert, runtime, tools, and so on. In the files, this helps you to rename the file, to open the new notebook, to reload another notebook up from the Google Drive, or you can upload new notebook from your system. You can delete the file. You can save a copy of this notebook in the Google Drive, in the GitHub, etc. And you can also download this particular file. In the edit option, you will be able to have the editing options. In the view, you will be able to see different options are available. We will come to this later on. Insert, with the help of this insert, we will be able to insert a code cell or the text cell. The difference between the code and the text cell is that over here in Google Colab or in the notebook, Python notebook, we can write both text as well as code. Notebook, it is something like a textbook in which we can write the code as well as we can write a complete text. And if I want to write the text, like over here we have the option code plus text. If I click on plus text, it is going to create a cell, and over here I can welcome to my YouTube class, and I can do the formatting also, like I can highlight it, and you can see over here the output that is going to come, and I can also increase the size and so on. And if I click outside, so it is the text, it is not a part of a code. And if I click on this plus code, then this is the code part. If I click on a equals to 2, then this will be taken as the code, not as the text. So over here at the end, the output of this notebook, it will be both the text as well as the code, and this help us to have a proper notebook. We can prepare proper notes along with the code. Right now, whenever we over here, when we open this Google Colab, so over here it is just like a web page. Over there we are just writing the text or the code. But when we want to execute the code, at that time we need to connect. Over here on the right side, you will be able to see the connect button. So before executing the code, I have to connect it. If I do not click over here, I can just click over here. This is the run button, means this is the code a equals to 2. So if I simply click over here, this code is going to be executed. So if I click over here without connecting, then also the first step will be to connect automatically. Like if I am clicking on this connect, you can see now it is over here, it is allocating, means now the process is started in which this particular notebook is trying to connect with the Google server. So it is allocating, connecting, so initializing. So over here the process is going on in which we are requesting the Google to provide some space for our notebook so that the codes that we want to execute can be executed in the Google server. So you can, if I click over here, now it is connected. So if I bring my cursor over here, so you can see the options. It is saying connected to Python 3 Google Compute Engine backend, where RAM provided is this, hard disk is this. right? So it means that I got some space from the Google server in the Google compute engine, and over there my code will be run. So it is this platform notebook, it is something like a web page, and over here I am just writing the code, but the execution of all the codes will be done on the Google server, right? So this connection is necessary. So it means to work on this Google Colab, we need internet. But the internet speed, even if it is not good, then also it will work, right? So now after this, over here, if I click on this three lines, this contains the option table of content. Like I have created this welcome to YouTube class, so table of content. Over here it helps us to search for something in this notebook. And this third one, it is the variable inspector, may inspect runtime performance while open. Over here, whatever variables that I am going to create, that will be listed out over here. Means, like for example, over here I have created a equals to 2. Yesterday I told you about variables, that variables is something that is going to hold the values. Hold the values means, because whatever values or instructions that we are executing, it requires some memory to store. So over here, when we are storing the value in the memory, then we use variable name. Variable name is the symbolic name for the memory slots in which the value is stored. So when I say a equals to 2, it means the a is a symbolic name for the memory in which 2 is stored. If I, so all the variables that I am going to create, they will be listed over here, their details, like over here a is equals to 2, and if I bring my cursor over here, you can see the value is also given, value is equals to 2. So with this variable inspector, I will be able to know about the variable values, their type, easily in a single list over here. And the next over here is the, if I click over here, this help us, like over here, this is the option for the refresh, this is the option for mount drive. So if I click over here, so it is going to mount my Google Drive over here. Mount Google Drive means that whatever files that are present in my Google Drive, that can be accessed using this notebook. So I can access all the files that are present in my Google Drive using this notebook. And it means I can use this Google Drive just as my computer. Like when I'm writing any code in my system, so I may need to access some of the files, right? So over here, Google Drive or Google has provided that option, that I have a coding platform. If I want to access any file, then that files I can upload on the Google Drive, and then easily I can access any of the file. This is the drive. If I click on this over here, my drive option is there in the my drive, then all the folders that are there, that will be listed out. Okay, it is, you can see all the folders that are there are listed out. If I click on this like three dots, then these options will be are coming, and over here copy path. If I simply click on this copy path and then let me paste it, so it is the path to my folder courses, right? If I want to open it, I click over here, C language. If I open it, so like this, or lecture slides. So these are some of the PPTs over here for my C language. And over here, if I copy path, so this is the exact path to this particular PPT. It means if I want to access this PPT with my Google Colab, simply I have to use this particular path, right? So in this way, with the help of this mount drive, I can access all the files that are there in my Google Drive, right? So let me close it. Now after that, if I come to this insert over here, we have the option to code cell. It means if I want to write a code, I will click on this, or simply this plus code. Text cell, it will help me to insert text. Section header, it is something like this type of a text if I want to add. Code snippet, it is one of the very good thing that is there in the Google Colab. Like over here you can see that we have different like install JavaScript to Python communication, and if I click on this, it is we have a complete code over here, right? So similarly, suppose listing files, if I click on this listing files, you can see complete code is over here. And simply if I click on this insert, so once I click, this code is inserted into my Google Colab. It means this code which is used to list all the files that is there in my Google Drive, now just by clicking on this insert, that code is available to me. Means I do not need to write anything. Using this code snippet, there are some codes that are provided by the Google. So simply if I want to use that, I can simply click on this insert and the code will automatically come to my Google Drive, right? So in this way, this code snippet, it is very helpful, and the overall purpose of the Python is to make the life of the programmer easy. And over here the additional thing is provided by the Google Colab, that if there are something like some codes that we that can be automated, like Google has provided some codes which we can insert to our Google Colab simply by click on this insert button. Add a form field, if I click over here, so this over here, like if I click on this slider, maximum value variable name, let it be slide, double save. So now you can see just this slider appears over here, means, and the code, or let me select another, this part, if I want to delete any of the cell, simply I can select the cell and over here options will come. So if I click on this delete, it will delete this. Now again, if I go to insert add a form field, now over here let me put the slider and now slide and save. So you can see the code over here appear, and this code is to display to have this type of a slider, right? So it means Google is providing all these facilities where some of the codes we do not even have to write. We can use the code snippet. We can, if we want to create some type of a forms, we can simply create it by using this particular thing. So even if we do not know how to create a this slider in Python, easily by using this insert add a form, we can do that. So this is how the life of the programmer becomes easy, especially to the programmers who do not have a background of computer science engineering. So all the programmers, all the people or the code seekers, they can do the programming without much trouble. Now the next thing is the runtime. Over here the runtime means that these are the options that are available to execute the program. So whatever program, whatever code that I am writing, that will be executed. So run all means that all the codes that are present in this cell, it will be run, it will be executed. Run before, the code that is present before this cell, that will be executed. Run the focused code, the present cell will be executed. Run after, the cell that is after this selected cell will be executed. Interrupt execution. Now sometimes the loop it gets overflow. Okay, and the program keeps on running, so we can interrupt the execution. Okay, restart runtime. Sometimes some problem, due to some problem, the program is not executing properly, so in that case we can restart runtime, means we can reinitiate the things from the start. Okay, means all the codes will remain over here, but their execution or whatever variables that are created, that will be removed. Restart and run all means it will restart the runtime and will rerun all the codes that are available in the notebook. Disconnect and delete runtime means we are disconnecting from the Google server. Change runtime type. Now over here, if I click on this change runtime type, so it is going to come out, it is going to display the options where we can select the hardware accelerator. Means if we want to execute our program in CPU, it will be selected. It is by default CPU will be selected. If I want to execute my program in GPU, I can select this. Changing runtime attribute may terminate your current session. It means that if I have already executed some of the commands, that will be removed. All the variables that are there in the memory, all will be released, all will be deleted. Okay, so if I want to select TPU, I can select TPU. Now the difference between CPU, GPU, TPU, you can understand it that GPU is better than CPU and TPU is the best in comparison to CPU and TPU in terms of processing speed. If CPU is going to take 10 hours to execute a code, then GPU can do it in 1 hour, and TPU can reduce the time even for it will be able to do it even in less amount of time. So depending on the requirement, we can select this runtime. And remember, provided by the Google is not charging anything for this. Over here, runtime type me, if I click over here, so over here I have the option of Python 3 and R, means I can write my code in R language also over here. So these are the options that are available in Google Colab that makes Google Colab unique in comparison to the other platforms that are there, and it becomes better to use Google Colab in comparison to installing the Python in your system. Plus point is additional plus point is that since Google Colab is available in Google Drive, so we can use this same notebook from anywhere across the world. I do not even have to carry my laptop. One more additional thing is that I can write a code through my mobile phone. This Google Colab I can open with my mobile phone also. Simply with your mobile phone, simply search for this Google Colab, and then the first option that is going to come, if you click over here, that will take you to the Google Colab in your mobile phone also. So you do not need to have a laptop. You can write a code from your mobile itself. So these are some of the features that are there with the Google Colab. Over here, these are the tools that are like, if I click over here, so over here this helps me to, if I want to add a comment, so I can select this, so it is going to add some comment over here. Let me close it. So tools, command palette, and so if I want to add a code cell, so it has created. So it means it has some options where I can over here convert to text cell. So these are some of the options that are already there over here, but in this command palette it is all together, right? So this is about Google Colab, that we can write a program. When we open it, and if we want to execute the program, we need to do the connection with the Google server, and then only our program is going to be executed. We can mount our Google Drive with this, and mounting the Google Drive means that we can access all the files that are there in my Google Drive, and then Google Colab can work exactly in the same way as we are going to work in our laptop when we are going to install Python platform in our laptop. For executing the code, as I told you that simply if I write a equals to 5, let me open this variable inspector. So over here, if I execute this a equals to 5, you will be able to see it is the presently it is 2, and now the value is 5. Okay, now if I over here, if I write something like b equals to 6, and now if I execute the code, now so be listed over here. So now we will be having two variables a and b, and the value of the b is 6, as you can see. So it means all the variables that we are going to execute, it will be displayed over here, right? With this over here in this, if I click on this, it will take this cell above this. So like this, if I click, then this cell comes one place above. Okay, if I click on this, it will come down by one position. Over here it is copy link to the cell, it is add a comment. So if I want to add a comment, I can add some of the comments, right? It is open editor setting. If my mirror cell in tab, it is to delete. So these are some of the options that we can use, and the most common options that are required is this up, to move the cell upward, to move the cell downward, and to delete the things. If I want to, like suppose if I change some value, let a equals to 15, and now if I want to undo it, so if suppose if I have not selected this particular cell, and I am over here, so in this, so over here if I click on Control Z, it is not going to return back the value of a. To return back, to make undo, Control Z works, I have to select this, and then if I press Control Z, then I will be able to do the undo, right? So this is all about Google Colab. Tomorrow we will start with the programming, where I am going to tell you how you can take input from the user, and then how you can print or display anything to the user. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please write it in the comment box so that I may answer. Any doubt, anyone? Okay, so thank you.